Hello, we are live. It is On the Corner, the official podcastpitchlist.com. I'm your host, Eric Samulski, joined on the last episode of the regular season by my co-host, Nick Pollack. Nick,
what is happening? Yeah, it is the last one.
It is.
And if you guys didn't know, what I do a week from today is I get started on my first edition of the list for 2026.
You're an insane person. But
I'm also trying to be proactive because I'm getting married in December. Okay. So I have to do a lot of things quickly. And what my plan is, everyone, is to have the list out on Thursday of next week for 2026. And then Eric and I will have a podcast on probably the next one Monday or so. We're going to take a week off next week and we'll talk about it. Eric will have something.
I'm going to push myself. We're going to have, I might only get like 100, but we're going to have something.
Yeah. I mean, that's all that 100 is fine. The only reason it's 200 is because I've gone over 200.
Sure.
Right. Like I need to make the 100, you have at least 25 outside of it,
Can I ask, and this is relevant to some current news, but also just to this. Yes. Pitchers like, say, Brandon Woodruff, Pablo Lopez, guys who just landed on the IL, but we expect to pitch in 2026. You will rank them even though they are currently injured, correct?
Oh, Eric, you know this. You know
this.
Well, I rank everyone in the list in the preseason.
That's true. Correct.
And the only time I remove it is when it's in season.
Right.
Because I understand that you're drafting.
Yes.
It's not like in season making that decision or not.
Very
it's
true.
It's
been so long. It's been so long. Yeah. I remember now.
Oh, so yes, of course. I will have injured guys. What I normally do, just so you guys know, is I take the injured question marks and I generally put them in their own little tier of like, this will change when we have more information.
Mm-hmm.
However, when it's something that's like, yeah, they would probably be out for like a month, and it's like, yeah, we're going to act like they weren't hurt at the end of the year.
Right.
So when there's confusion, we put them in there. But that's not what we're going to talk about this week, guys.
No.
The one thing that we can do is we can talk about every single day this week and have them ranked for you. And that's exactly what this podcast is going to be. You should be watching on YouTube right now because I am showing the ranking on the screen right now. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to be jumping through the entire thing the entire time as Eric and I break it down. Eric hasn't even seen these ranks yet.
I haven't.
So
no, I'm very excited.
You're going to get his live reaction.
We
can't wait.
We should also just note as a disclaimer at the top, we are recording this on Monday afternoon. These are, as of right now, who we understand will be pitching when. There are some teams that have already clinched playoff spots. There are some teams that are going for buys. The AL is the Wild West right now. It is madness of all the teams in the AL trying to lock up playoff spots, seeding, etc. And so as the week goes on and teams do clinch playoff spots, clinch buys, things like that, you may see somebody who was scheduled to start on Friday or Saturday who we were like, hey, we really like this start. And all of a sudden that guy is either not going to start or could be at risk of going 3 or 4 innings just to get some innings under his belt. And so my personal preference, if you are in a head-to-head league, I really do think that if there are good starts that you can attack early in the week, I think that is best. Even in Roto, if you're in a weekly lineup lock league, you may have already set your lineup by this time. But I think attacking good starts early in the week is always going to be better than waiting to like see how you're doing and then get that Saturday or Sunday start in there, because those are the days that are going to be just a mess and you don't know who's going to start, how long they're going to go.
There are some things in life that you just get reminded of how good it is. And I just got to say, it's been 2 years now that Eric has been the co-host of On the Corner. And to hear something like that I just so vastly agree with and so smart. Oh, Eric, such a fantastic partner for this podcast.
You're
absolutely right.
You're too kind.
Oh man, no, seriously, guys. Like the worst part of the year for me is writing all the notes. That's what the list is today. I'm going to be doing the full-on notes. So it's like 30 notes per day. So I don't know. It's like 5 extra days worth. Okay, fine. 150 notes for the week. And I'm going to have to rewrite them. Going to have to rewrite so many of them because they're going to change a lot. And I think the one element that gets overlooked a lot that Eric hit on there was the length of starts on Friday, Saturday, Sunday are going to surprise you. There are going to be pitchers that you have no fear about, but then all of a sudden 4 innings and 70 pitches. Because you know what? No reason to push them today. They wanted to make sure this other guy got an opportunity or something like that. And if you have something that you feel really good about early on, that is, yes, you should bank on that completely. And I am not ranking this based on those thoughts. I know that sounds weird, but because there are so many conversations to have, I will be mentioning them in the notes of these articles and during this podcast of which guys I have more faith in going a normal start or making that start. And I'm ranking it as if everybody has a normal regular start, say for like the known quantities of like, yeah, we know that Jacob Mizorowski is going to be limited in some fashion or so on and so forth.
We're going to dive right into this. We're going to start on Tuesday, even though we're recording this Monday. We're going to break it down by day. We're going to break it down by Nick's tiers. So auto start, probably start, questionably start, and do not start. And the auto starts on Tuesday are Tarek Skubal against the Guardians, Christopher Sanchez against the Marlins, Jacob deGrom against the Twins, Shohei Ohtani against the Diamondbacks, Logan Webb against the Cardinals, Bryce Miller against the Rockies, Cole Reagans against the Angels. I guess the only one I'm questioning right now is Reagans and the length. I assume you think he's going to go at least 5 innings here, and so why not?
I mean, the Angels, JHMW inside of our playback chat constantly reminded this morning that the Angels, I think, have the most strikeouts of any team in the majors. And Cole Reagans, best pitch is the changeup, should feast against right-handers. This should be a comfortable 5 innings with strikeouts. We saw that last time. Also, Reagans should go deeper than he did last time out. So, yeah, I mean, if you have Cole Reagans, you're not going to not start him. Fair. Right? Like, you're going to start the guy. So, yeah, it's fine. Just start Cole Reagans.
I assume there's nobody else you really want to discuss here. Ohtani has been going 5, and so I guess we can assume he's going to go 5. But yeah,
again, like with Reagans, you start him.
Okay. Probably start Kevin Gausman against the Red Sox, Ryan Pepio against the Orioles, Gavin Williams against the Tigers, Brady Singer, the Pirates, Luis Heel against the White Sox, Zebby Matthews against the Rangers, Hurston Waldrop against the Nationals, and Cade Horton against the Mets. My 2 big question marks for you here. Zebby Matthews, I know the Rangers are beat up. Can we really trust him in the probably start? And same with Hurston Waldrop. He gets a really good matchup against the Nationals, but I think he's allowed at least 3 runs, if I'm not mistaken, in each of his last 3 starts. We know the splitter is inconsistent, so it's risky, but the matchup is great.
Yeah, I debated this one. I'm going to say with Zebby that it's a really good situation. Also, Arlington is a fantastic place to pitch, so that helps him even further. The fact that he's throwing strikes, that's actually his fault has been getting damage on pitches inside the zone as opposed to not being able to be in the zone. I think it just speaks to him being successful in this one. And I feel as if with all the haze of everything else, look, this is someone who can go 6 innings, who can give you strikeouts as well. I think you go with it. Hurston Waldrop, right? I mean, you know me. I'm not going to just trust a splitter guy for whatever reason.
You're never going to do that. No.
Sometimes. Okay. Like, look, I trust Imanaga. I trust Yamamoto. Yep. And the benefit that Waldrop has here is against a left-handed lineup that makes it a larger margin for error with splitters. You want to have a good splitter against opposite-handed batters. Nationals are going to send that to him. So I think in general, you're fine with Waldrop. I think that just makes it a little bit of like, yeah, if you have Waldrop, you're probably going to start him. You're not going to bench him. You know, the way that I do these tiers is auto start is like, let's not kid ourselves. Like, we know you're going to put him in your lineup. Probable start is supposed to be that 50 to 75% of the time. And then questionable starts like 25% to 50%. And then 25 and below is do not start. So right at that, like if it's 50-50 to me, it goes into questionable start. I think in more cases than not, you will be going with Waldrop.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And then Cade Horton, you know, Mets. But
how do we feel about the Mets? How do we actually feel about the Mets offense? Right, like
we don't know. It could be great. They could
Right.
Totally bomb. It's so
And
hard
I'm
to know.
going to then side with Cade Horton just being Cade Horton, for as long as he has been. I will mention the Cubs are likely going to keep him somewhat limited in this one, even though it's a Tuesday, because the Cubs, I believe, need one more win to lock it all up, if not more, if they haven't already done it. So they are very attentive to not overworking Cade Horton, and especially with the playoffs ahead, they might take advantage of it and only have him for 4 innings or 60 pitches or something like that, which is very possible.
So we'll move to the question we start here because there's somebody in that I want to discuss. So it's Lucas Giolito at the Blue Jays, Christian Javier at the Athletics. That might be why he's in here, plus some general inconsistencies. Dean Kramer versus the Rays, Johan Oviedo at Cincinnati, Jeffrey Springs against the Astros, Brad Lord against the Braves, David Peterson against the Cubs, Brandon Pfaadt against the Dodgers. So here's my question. We got Zebby Matthews up and probably start because we've seen him flash before. We know the Rangers are banged up. You've got Lucas Giolito against a Blue Jays team that doesn't have Bo Bichette and obviously doesn't have Anthony Santander because they haven't forever. But over the last month, that's his last 5 starts, Giolito has a 2.48 ERA, a 1.34 whip, 27 strikeouts in 29 innings. I guess my question to you is, Giolito has, I guess, definitely the worst matchup of the two, even though the Blue Jays aren't full strength, but has been considerably better than Zebby Matthews over the last month. So why Zebby in probably start and Giolito in question?
Totally get that. And maybe I am overweighing the matchup. I mean, it's as simple as that. Giolito also, I mean, it's so funny. Like, my name has been attached to Giolito, and it's like just totally misunderstood. Where I'm not actually as sold on Giolito as I wanted to be earlier on.
For sure.
He has not polished his arsenal. Like last start, even, I believe it was the changeup was working, but the slider was not. Right. And his velocity fluctuates, and it's just always, you don't quite know what you're going to get. It's always been enough, but it's precarious.
Agreed.
And this is a Jays team that even without Bo Bichette has done very well in Toronto. So I'm a little scared of it. He has done well in Toronto earlier on. I also will mention that Giolito's ceiling it's been very good, but it's not been like, oh, cool, we're going to get like a 6 inning, 9 strikeout game, 1 run, 4 base runners kind of start. No, it's always around that, like, okay, 2 runs and 6 innings, what we're hoping for, with like a 117 whip, 7 base runners or whatever with strikeout inning. That's like what we're really hoping for every time.
Agreed.
Right, from Giolito, right? Which is good. Don't get me wrong. It's just not the range of what the outcomes are, I think, are not as it's not so alluring as we want it to be, and when we think about that success that he's had over the past month.
I agree.
So that's why he's here. I feel like you don't have to do that one. While I feel like it is just an easier team that Zebby Matthews has to go for, I didn't feel comfortable with this with Zebby Matthews in probable, to be fair. And I very much see how close those two are. And I can honestly just even put Giolito ahead of him in probable, and everything is fine. At the very least, I think everyone else in questionable is definitively questionable.
Yes, I agree. And then I agree with the do not starts. It's Shane Smith against the Yankees, Edward Cabrera against the Phillies, Randy Vasquez against the Brewers, Sam Aldeguerri against the Royals, Bruce Zimmerman against the Padres, Andre Payante against the Giants, and McCade Brown against the Mariners. I assume Edward Cabrera, the only really notable name here, but it's first start off the IL, so you're not going to do that start anyway, and it's the Phillies.
Yeah, it's a still ill. He also apparently threw 50 pitches last time, and that's not enough. Also, it was a right elbow flexor strain. We're going, what? Mm-hmm. Like, why are you here? I don't expect anything from this.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily understand the benefit of throwing him in the start, but whatever. He's got a whole offseason if he gets hurt.
Look, we're going to talk about it, saying, look, he looked good in his last 2. That makes us feel better about, April, right? I do want to mention Christian Javier, as you alluded to. Yeah, it's in Sacramento. It's in Sacramento. Christian Javier he's a poor execution, awesome stuff guy. We don't know if he's going to be able to get enough fastballs close to the zone to get swings or not, and if his change will be good enough, the sinker, the breaking balls, like, it's all just, we don't know. and it's very dangerous hitting in Sacre Verde.
Agreed. Moving on to Wednesday. Can't believe there's only 3 games on Monday. Just so much excitement with the playoff, the pennant
Well,
race.
it's the come before the storm, right?
They're like, hey, you got 3 games. Wednesday's auto starts. Garrett Crochet against the Blue Jays. Paul Skeens against the Reds. Hunter Green against the Pirates. Max Fried against the White Sox. Blake Schnell against the Diamondbacks. Hunter Brown against the Athletics. Robbie Ray against the Cardinals. Jesus Azardo against the Marlins. Luis Castillo against the Rockies. Sonny Gray against the Giants. Their auto starts. So is there anything you want to say or?
Well, I gotta address the elephant in the room, Eric. Did you say Blake Schnell?
I don't think so.
Oh, I'm pretty sure you did. We'll go back to the tape.
I mean,
but,
listen, I have I have some friends. Their last name is Schnell, so it's possible I did that, but I was not intentional.
Never heard it. I love it. Blake Schnell. No. Also, by the way, I think Monday only had 3 games. I'm thinking about it because if they had to get a earlier rain out on the schedule because it was a close division race, that might be the day reserved for it.
Yeah.
That's my only thought with that. But there's nothing really to mention here. I feel like guys are worried about Robbie Ray, but it's been a really bad schedule for him. And this is so much better as the Cardinals in Oracle Park. Like, just go with it. He's pitching well. So Robbie Ray.
Probable start tier. Shane Baz against the Orioles. A resurgent Tanner Bybee against the Tigers. Jack Flaherty against the Guardians. Max Scherzer against the Red Sox. Matthew Boyd against the Mets. Stephen Pollack against the Angels. Tyler Wells against the Rays. Quinn Priester, the Brewers' new number 2 starter, against the Padres. I guess Scherzer is the one I have the biggest question marks on here, and it's because of health. He was injured, and then the last start wasn't good, and they have clinched a playoff spot, and so you just have to wonder if he's really going to pitch that deep into this game.
Oh, yeah. No. Are you kidding me? They need Scherzer to completely rid himself of that last game. And also watching it, my gosh, the luck he had in that was terrible. And a lot of times these guys get bamboozled in the first inning, and you go, "Oh, you can't trust them; they're bad." Watch it. Watch like the flares and the little dribblers and the home run that gets hit on the he hit that out. Like, it's so common, and you hear me write it in the roundup a ton. Now there are certain games where I will mention this. Say for Luzardo's back-to-back destruction. Can you think of another time a starter had a horrible game, like really bad, like 1 inning or something, and then did it again, in the next one? Yeah. Right? Like Lucas Giolito going 1.2 innings, and I still ranked him highly, and then he did great after that, right?
Right. Yeah, that's true.
You have
unless it's like a terrible starter who we expect that.
Well, right, but that's kind of my point of like most of the times, and I'm not saying that anytime a guy just like struggles for like 3 innings or so as a clunker, that means that everything's fine. It's just bad luck. But a lot of the times, if you actually engage with that start and you really watch it, they had some terrible fortune or just things didn't go right that day, and that aren't actually indications of them having worse stuff, having poor location, being off, being injured. That one, Max Scherzer, velocity was still very much there. Everything looked kind of good, and just didn't happen, right? So I'm just completely hand waving that. And this is again in Toronto. It's not in Fenway. I'm cool with that. And the bottom of this tier and probably start Stephen Pollack, Tyler Wells, Quinn Priester. I'm just like, all right, guys, whatever. Pollack has been stupid, and I just am done denying it against the Angels. It's like whatever.
Pollack for me is the one that stood out the most.
It stands out to me the most. Like, I don't like it, but also, can you tell me anybody who's not going to do that if you have Pollack? Like, if you see him on the wire, like, you're going to do that over JT Ginn, over even, like, you're going to feel more comfortable with that than Dylan Cease, who's just been, you've been bashing your head against the wall with this. Like, it's just so frustrating. Sorry for that imagery. But, like, it's just... Stephen Pollack, all right. I'm calling these guys witchers, Eric. This is what I came up with.
Okay.
They don't have a kitchen sink. Instead, they have a cauldron, and they stir it and they cast a spell on batters. So they're witchers.
Sure.
And I want to tie in something with like the show The Witcher. And they make me have gray hair. How about that? Is that cool? I don't know.
Long gray hair.
Yeah. Sure. So Pollack is one of those. I could even see like Bryce Elder. I can
that
imagine that
sounds
people
like the
want to feel
name of
better about that one, which is
sounds
the
like the
top of
name of a
questionable
Witcher.
start. And even like the bad one, he had a lot of whiffs in it, but it's just that feels so weird, doesn't it, Eric?
Yeah.
Are
Yes.
you gonna start Elder?
No, I would never do it. I
But
couldn't bring myself to.
well, that's the thing.
Especially
Everyone
in the,
else, I get a feeling that a lot of people will.
well, there are other guys in the questionable start tier, like we'll just say questionable start tiers: Bryce
Yeah.
Elder against the Nationals, Tyler Mahle against the Twins, Dylan Cease against the Brewers, Ryan Weathers against the Phillies, JT Ginn against the Astros, Jonah Tong against the Cubs, Ryan Nelson against the Dodgers, Yusei Kikuchi against the Royals, and Taj Bradley against the Rangers. I would probably rather start Mahle against the Twins because really your downside there is innings and him coming off the IL more recently. I'd probably start Ryan Weathers against the Phillies lineup that is not 100% over Bryce Elder. I know Weathers hasn't looked great. I'd still probably rather start Dylan Cease against the Brewers over Bryce Elder. I know, again, like it's risky, but probably.
So first of all, did you hear me clear my throat? Because I really hope you didn't.
I didn't.
You did.
I don't believe I did.
Okay, good. I don't know if this was. I'm trying to mute my mic, and it doesn't. I don't know.
I think
that'd
I
be really
just
funny. Be like,
decided
yeah, I
maybe
heard
was
it. Oh, so
talking over
weird.
you.
What are you
Didn't hear
doing
it.
right now? But the case with Weathers is that he didn't go very long, 68 pitches in his last game. So it's actually his rehab start and his first game back was that. So I'm like, oh gosh, how long is he even going to go? And then you have that cap ceiling, and then you have the fact that it is at Philly. So yes, I know that they aren't at their peak. Philadelphia, there's still a good offense to avoid if you can.
Sure.
Dylan Cease, it's a coin flip. We know this, and the very least for Elder, that he's actually executed his slider and his sinker and added the four seam that's been effective. Like that, that is just making more sense as of right now for me. Tyler Mahle, we don't know about the pitch count. It's good against the Twins. The Twins are a team you want to stream against. I don't love it. Also, kind of a limited pitch count, but at least it's not against Milwaukee or it's not against the Phillies, right? So that's why he's there. JT again, I like the command, but it's against Houston in Sacramento Verde, but at least it's a right-handed lineup. So then the slider and the sinker could work. I don't know, but Jonah Tong I can't do against the Cubs, and Ryan Nelson against the Dodgers. It's just now you're getting into like, oh man, okay, it's at Texas, but it's Taj Bradley, or it's Yusei Kikuchi and all his whatever against the Royals, and it's just all right. I get it. If you need to chase it, it could work. Just I don't want to.
The Taj Bradley part is so funny because I mean, listen, I am more a fan of Zebby Matthews than Taj Bradley, but it's the same matchup. And Taj Bradley has also flashed at times.
No.
One is a probably start, one is a questionable start. But yes, I am more confident in Zebby Matthews, which is wild to say, than I am in Taj Bradley.
I hate that there's been so much conversation about Zebby Matthews because I could just put him in questionable and I'm fine. Like I should just do that and not get people upset at me.
No, I don't think
like I could have just done that. I'm like, oh god, okay, I guess.
Listen, you told me to talk about the people that I had.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is what I'm. It is what it is, and guys, just if you're like debating between all these ones, but Nick said Zebby Matthews, just don't do that one then, okay?
Right. Yeah.
Just do another one.
And trust your gut on it.
Okay.
And then the do not starts: Andrew Alvarez against the Braves, Tyler Alexander against the Yankees, and Tanner Gordon against the Mariners.
Yeah, there's no. I mean, look, Alvarez is the best one of them because he's at the top of it, and there is a chance, but don't
do it. But there are some pitchers that you should start on Thursday, and we'll get to those pitchers after this break. So Thursday starts with the auto starts. Brian Wu against the Rockies, Yoshinobu Yamamoto against the Diamondbacks, Shota Imanaga against the Mets, Nolan McLean against the Cubs, Shane Bieber against the Red Sox, and Nick Lodolo against the Pirates. And we have now entered, hey, I guess it depends on what happens early in the week territory. We know that Brian Wu left the last start with a pec injury. We know the Mariners have a 3-game lead currently on the Astros. I tend to believe, and this is not based on anything that's reported, it's just my opinion, that if the Mariners have clinched the division by Thursday, which is possible, maybe not likely, but possible, I don't know that we see Brian Wu start.
No, I mean, I'm totally with you. Like, this is like, what am I supposed to do?
Right.
I say in the notes, like, it's very possible he doesn't. However, it's Rocky Road. You didn't mention that. You just said it was Colorado. You didn't know if it was Coors and in Seattle. It's in Seattle. So you got the benefit of the T. You got the benefit of Rocky Road, and it's Ryan Wu.
Right.
I mean, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And the thing is, he might just get limited to 50 pitches or something.
Right.
That might even be the case in the end, which it could be 5 innings. Like it could just be absolute dominance because he throws so many strikes with those fastballs. So, yeah, plan accordingly. I don't know, but that is incredibly delicious of a start. Now, the one I'm looking at right now that I might switch before I publish the list is Shota Imanaga ahead of Bieber and Lodolo. And I might even just take the Imanaga and McLean and just go Bieber, Lodolo, Imanaga, McLean instead.
Right.
Just because, again, matchup is very important. And Nick Lodolo, who's looked so good and just had a terrible schedule, finally gets the Pirates. Oh, yes. I don't care. That's Great American Ballpark. That should be really fun. And Shane Bieber's just looked great, save for one stupid inning against the Reds.
And again, these are all in the auto start territory or the auto start tier. So, you would have to, that would matter to you only if you were deciding between those specific guys. Otherwise,
right. But I gotta do it right.
Do it. Probably start tier. Start with the guy you would think would be in the auto start tier.
I know, right?
It's Joe Ryan against the Rangers, Drew Rasmussen against the Orioles, Framber Valdez in Sacramento against the Athletics, Will Warren against the White Sox, Parker Messick against the Tigers, Cade Povich against the Rays. Obviously, it's just Joe Ryan hasn't really looked crisp over the last month or so, and so I get it, but I think he's on the super, super probable side of the probable.
Yeah,
side.
I mean, that's the thing is I understand it of the way I'll put it this way. If it's an auto start, you just don't think about it and you do it, right? I can see a scenario where you say, you know what? I'm counting my innings. I'm doing all this stuff. I'm trying to debate between these. Maybe just don't do Joe Ryan because we have seen worse fastball command. We've seen lack of secondaries in the past month. And it just hasn't added up for your squads. He allowed 4 solo shots, I believe, in the last game. So I get it. I understand if you don't want to start Joe Ryan in a very, very tight race and everything like that. I'm doing it, but I understand if you don't.
I am doing it too. I'm not in a very tight race in the leagues where I have him, but I just can't see benching him against that banged up Texas team. Will Warren, we talked last week about how he's been fading, but again, this is matchup against the White Sox. Parker Messick, I like. Detroit is a really left-handed heavy lineup, and so I think Messick, who is a lefty, should do relatively well there. And so I totally agree with you on the probably starts there. And Povich, I assume for you, it's because this is home for him against the Rays rather than in that minor league ballpark.
I've really turned on George Steinbrenner Field over the course of the year, just seeing the reports that mentioned of Ryan Pepio saying this is just chaos here. And in Camden is a much better environment. The Rays offense is not a scary one. I see this as clearly as a Toby in a good matchup. And Toby in a good matchup is always a probable start to me.
Yep. I got no issues with that. It's a small questionable start tier. It's Brian Bayo against the Blue Jays, Taiwan Walker against the Marlins, Jack Leiter against the Twins, and Zach Gallen against the Dodgers. Yeah. You just can't put Taiwan Walker in a probably start tier, huh?
Well, it's also the fact that I don't know how they're going to use him with Walker Buehler. We finally got Taiwan Walker Buehler, by the way. It was great. Wonderful time. It went exactly as you thought it would. Taiwan Walker, 3 innings and change, and then Walker Buehler came in and got you a win. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
For the now and later. And yeah, it's if he's actually starting it, then Buehler goes in another one, which the Phillies should, so that they can give some rest to some of these guys and really spread it out because they don't really want either of these in their playoff rotation. Then Taiwan Walker should be fine and get you a win against the Marlins. But man, it's Taiwan Walker, and I can't. I just can't put him higher than this.
So disparaging.
I'm sorry,
but I get it. And Jack Leiter, he's had his moments, but the Twins, you're not willing to. Well, not that you're not willing. He's in the questionable start tier.
You're right. He would be lower, Eric.
You'd prefer not to.
Yes, I think he's a piece. Poor execution, awesome stuff.
The tier lower is the do not start tier. It's Jansen Junk against the Phillies, Davis Martin against the Yankees, Michael Lorenzen against the Angels, Luis Severino against the Astros. That is at home in Sacramento. Braxton Ashcraft against the Reds, Kader Montero against the Guardians, Mitch Ferris against the Royals, Bradley Blaylock against the Mariners. Just don't do it.
Well, okay. So something that I really wrestle with doing these ranks every day is trying to express those who are able to go 6 innings or not, and saying, look, Michael Lorenzen just went 7+ innings in his last one. We've been chasing him to finally have a quality start for ages or whatever. He finally did it. Girl, awesome. But the chance of that is low. But the thing is, if you're going into the do not start tier, you generally are just trying to find someone who can do something.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why Jansen Junk and Davis Martin and Michael Lorenzen and Luis Severino are as high as they are in this mini tier. Like, these are guys that theoretically can do a quality start, right? Now, Kader Montero, probably I have like a higher quality per inning, but same with Braxton Ashcraft. Braxton Axcraft, as I like to say. But you are going to expect less volume from them. And then you have Mitch Ferris, which you just do not want to spin the Ferris wheel. And then you have Bradley Blaylock. And
you love the Ferris wheel. We'll move on to Friday's games. You only have one auto start on Friday. It's Carlos Rodon against the Orioles.
I mean, that's it. All the aces are gone the other days, I guess.
Yeah. Which, I guess makes some sense. The aces on the good teams probably want to, whatever. They're falling
on the good teams. What, the Yankees on a good team, Eric?
No, I'm saying most aces on the good teams are going earlier, like Max Fried on the Yankees, so they can be ready for the wild card for the postseason. But Rodon against Baltimore, fire it up. Probably start. We got Brandon Sproat against the Marlins, Trevor Rogers against the Yankees, Joey Wentz against the Pirates, Connolly early against the Tigers, Noah Cameron against the Athletics. That is in Sacramento. Kai Tang against the Rockies, Trey Yasevich against the Rays, Jacob Mizorowski against the Reds, and Colin Ray against the Cardinals.
These are probably
about Kai Tang for a second, because he has not gone over 4 innings.
Yeah.
So this is just a play on, he is getting a lot of strikeouts. So this is a play on, it's the Rockies in San Francisco. Even if he only goes 4, you think you're probably getting a decent amount of strikeouts and you're not getting a lot of earned runs.
Tang playing for 2026 right here. This is his moment, and here he is, the situation that just sets the stage for him. And also, as a breaking ball focused arm, Kai Tang is just going to demolish the right-handed Rockies lineup that are just so susceptible to breaking balls away. It just looks so perfect on paper. I've compared Tang to Lance McCullers in the sense of, like, you'll get strikeouts, but what's the chaos, right, of the ratios and the depth and or the volume and all. And I just see this as like a gift for fantasy managers who actually are paying attention. The Giants as a whole this weekend actually there's someone in the next day that is, oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it. But Kai Tang is a very interesting one here. There's Joey Wentz against the Pirates. Oh my gosh, look at these, both 3% rostered in probable starts on the Friday before the end of the season, guys.
Yep.
Like, this is, oh my gosh.
And those are guys are going to get the ball. Like,
right.
They're going to start.
Exactly. And there's Connolly early against the Tigers. This is an interesting one.
That was my next question for you.
Right. I knew it would be, because he had 2 dominant starts, and then he has this terrible one on Sunday. And you think, okay, hold on a second. There's no way that I feel good about this. Eric, why do you think I'm in on Connolly early against the Tigers in Fenway on Friday?
I don't know, other than lefty against left-handed heavy lineup.
Okay. And how did you feel? Did you feel at all about the Sunday game from Connolly early?
Sadly, wasn't able to watch as much of it as I wanted to. I do think that it started out rough and the first inning was a little difficult. In particular, there were some walks that came back to hurt him, but he settled down and he kind of righted the ship for a little bit, and he didn't let it get out of control.
Watch it though, Eric, because it was in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I know.
And the whole point is that Connolly Early, all over the place, scattered all of a sudden. Why? Maybe it's because he's in Tampa Bay.
That's maybe true.
I'm willing to just be like, whatever. You showcased 2 incredible outings, one in Sacramento, one in Fenway. The bad ones in Tampa Bay, where it was due to you not having good feel for your fastball and your curveball and everything. Like, no, I'm whatever. Now you get the Tigers on Friday. I think the skill set I think his entire arsenal on attack is great. I feel good about this one. I'm totally buying the whole, like, yeah, it is weird. You don't know where the ball's going. It's a different environment in Tampa Bay. I think we'll be right at home.
All right. Oh, well, listen, I hope you're right.
Me too. Also, there's Trey Yesovich, who had 36% fastballs for strikes yesterday. And I normally would be like, oh, splitter guy, get out of here. But slider's a good pitch. And both the slider and the splitter were cruising. It was just 36% strikes on his four-seamer. And you got to think to yourself, that's going to change. So, yeah, he's hosting them. It's in Toronto, a dome. Everything's nice, cool, comfortable. Yeah, I feel good about that one, too. Jacob Mizorowski, we know he's going to be limited, so fine, but it should benefit you. Colin Ray against the Cardinals. Okay, fine, that could be a win. Like, he's a totally good matchup. Sure.
Okay. Questionable starts here. George Kirby against the Dodgers, Sandy Alcantara against the Mets, Slade Ciccone against the Rangers, Yuendrys Gomez against the Nationals, Luis Morales against the Royals, Cade Cavalli against the White Sox, Jason Alexander against the Angels, Mitch Keller against the Braves, Yu Darvish against the Diamondbacks, Clayton Kershaw against the Mariners, Casey Mize against the Red Sox. I'm not going to say the name of the pitcher, but there was another pitcher earlier in the probably start tier against the Rangers, and you have Slade Ciccone here in the questionable start tier. I know you are not in the Slade brigade.
You're missing an important factor.
Which is?
Versus Texas.
Oh, because it's in Cleveland.
Yes.
Okay.
Different story. The park factor, way better for pitchers in Texas. So that's a major reason why there too. I'm not part of the Slade brigade. I do want to call Slade Ciccone a witcher. It's still weird to me. I did the roundup how it's Slade about Ciccone this weekend, and it doesn't add up.
Okay.
It's just like, how are your fastballs just succeeding over the plate like this? I don't know. I really don't feel like they should at all. And you can say, okay, he's like Chris Bassett, but he throws 94, 95. Isn't that a good thing, Nick? I'm like, sure, but no, he's not. He's not quite like, it just doesn't. It doesn't work.
But no,
it doesn't make sense. So yeah, I could put him in probably start. It just, the other guys just make more sense to me. And like, I understand what they do. I can expect that. It's also really hard for me to put George Kirby all the way down here, but it's the Dodgers, man. It is in Seattle, and I might not be favoring that enough. But we've seen how bad it can be for Kirby. And you might want to say, but Nick, his last 2 starts, there's one common factor with George Kirby's last 2 starts that is very important. It was the Astros and the Angels, who are both very right-hand heavy. So Kirby was able to find that groove with that. Awesome. Not going to be the case necessarily with the Dodgers.
Yeah, I get it. And it's also like, I have no issue with him in a questionable start tier. I maybe could put him in probable, but I get being a little confused, or not confused, but I get being a little having a little hesitation here. Cade Cavalli seems like he has a great matchup against the White Sox. It's just been the inconsistency, I assume, for you. One game the strikeouts are there, one game they're not, one game the earn. It's, you know,
he had 2 starts against the Marlins, 1 against the Pirates, and he was just so blah for them, and they needed okay against the Mets. It's like, I can't tell you that that's gonna be good.
Fair, I get that. And then Morales is somebody that we really liked a couple weeks back.
In
He had some
Sacramento.
rough starts, bounced back a little bit at Pittsburgh the last time out, but it wasn't an overly dominant start. And I guess this is at home, so you don't really want to take the risk.
Yeah, it's in Sacramento. The Royals actually are a decent offense. You don't know what you're going to get really. And Jason Alexander also someone I think people will be surprised by after just getting thumped by the Mariners. But this is the Angels. That's a much better situation. He's always been this Toby, so that could work for 5+ innings.
Yeah. Moving to the do not starts is actually somebody I want to discuss in here. It's Patrick Corbin against the Guardians, Eduardo Rodriguez against the Padres, Zach Littell against the Brewers, Ian Seymour against the Blue Jays, Walker Buehler against Minnesota, the Twins, Bailey Ober against the Phillies, Miles Michaelis against the Cubs, Kyle Hendricks against the Astros, Herman Marquez against the Giants. Do you know which pitcher in here I think shouldn't be in here?
Yeah, it's probably Ian Seymour.
It is Ian Seymour.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this right now being like, I should probably put him above Yermín Gomez.
Yes. I think there are two
I'm gonna
things.
do that right now, just live on this. Go ahead.
Because I think there are two things to consider here. One is just that Ian Seymour has been good. I think, the other thing to consider is it's at Toronto, so it's not in Tampa Bay. And then as it currently stands, the Blue Jays are 2 games up on the Yankees.
So you think they're going to be hungover?
I think the Blue Jays, no, I just think they're going to have a bye. I think they'll have the bye locked up by then.
Yeah, what I'm saying is like that would be the day after celebration. So
sure, I was more thinking that I just don't know that they'll have their full lineup in those games.
Yeah, not a bad play. Yeah, not a bad thing at all. I my internal thought process is I don't like it that how good the Jays are in Toronto, and they're also better against lefties. And I don't really think that Ian Seymour is that special, but yeah, he should be He should be inside of this well, those guys. The second that I was looking at this, I was like, "What's Ian Seymour doing here?"
Yeah,
you said there was a problem. Now I initially thought there would be someone else because I'm still tempted to remove this player from do not start.
Is it Patrick Corbin?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But the last 2 games that we've seen of Patrick Corbin have been sub 10% fastball usage or at 10% or lower. And he's had success and it's changeup, slider, cutter now. And it's against the Guardians, who are better when they face right-handers, so they can go their whole lefty lineup, and they have to have their switch hitters and focus on the right side. That sets it up well for Corbin. It just seems interesting, and I'm thinking to myself, like, all right, Mitch Keller, Darvish, Kershaw, Maya's like, Corbin's going to be able to go 6. Like, maybe I should do that, but I'll probably just leave it here and be like, I don't want to big brain myself out of the playoffs or something like that.
Yeah, I can. I see it though. I see the logic behind it. I see the thought process. I could convince myself that he'd be in the questionable start tier.
Right.
For sure.
Right. That's all. But Eric, we have 2 more days to go, Saturday and Sunday, which are going to be complete chaos, guys. And what we're saying right now, take with a grain of salt about those 2 days, because we don't know who's going to go, what the scenarios are going to be. But we'll talk about all of those after this break. Eric, I had to get one of them in.
You had to do it.
I had to steal one of them.
Yeah, you had to. We'll start on Saturday. The auto start tier. Tyler Glasnow against the Mariners, Logan Gilbert against the Dodgers, Merrill Kelly against the Guardians, Michael King against the Diamondbacks, Cam Schlittler against the Orioles, and Bubba Chandler against the Braves. Bubba in the auto start tier.
Dude, his 4-seamer command is incredible.
Yeah.
And then change it.
Again, it's so weird that his command is incredible. I don't know why we were told, otherwise. What are you going to
do? Yeah. I mean, also Michael King, he went 4, or actually I think it was like 5 beautiful innings. And then he got pulled with, after loading the bases on 2 absurdly unfortunate hits and a walk. And then he got pulled and he got saved in the last start. But that was a 5 shutout with a 1 whip, 4 Ks before that 6th inning where he allowed the first 3 batters on. Mm-hmm. That's what his last game was. I'm not worried at all about Michael King.
Yeah, I don't think you should be either. Probable starts here. It's Spencer Strider against the Pirates, Aaron Nola against the Twins, Andrew Abbott against the Brewers, Trevor McDonald against the Rockies, Chad Patrick against the Reds, Clay Holmes against the Marlins, Joey Cantillo against the Rangers, and Yuri Perez against the Mets. I'm glad you had Chad Patrick here because I added Chad Patrick in a lot of places over the weekend, and I just felt like it was a good spot for Chad Patrick.
It was so close, though, with Chad Patrick last time. He needed one more out to go 5 innings and get a win. Just so unfortunate, but I'm surprised that's the first one you have to mention here, Eric.
Well, it's been on my mind because before you were recording, I was setting my lineups in a lot of leagues and I was putting Chad Patrick into a lot of lineups. And I was like, okay, so yeah, it was good. I was honestly waiting till we got to this day to see how you felt about Chad Patrick. And I feel
interesting. I mean, come on, it's the Reds carpet.
I know.
He's going to stroll down the thing. And also the Brewers going to be like, yeah, go as long as you want. Make our bullpen even fresher because Chad Patrick, you're not part of our postseason plan. This is great.
I think their postseason plan blew up in their face a little bit with the Woodruff injury.
That is a good point. I mean, it's still Mizorowski and Priester and Peralta.
And then Quintana, barring health.
Yeah.
I guess Robert Gasser, maybe?
No, it might be Chad Patrick, actually. But the more interesting one here that Trevor is McDonald. Literally 0% rostered.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, hold on a second. Let me watch this. I got to understand what is this deal. Trevor McDonald is a sinker curveball guy. It's really sinker sweeper, but the curveball has more drop than the sweeper has more drop than a typical one. Well, it doesn't have enough drop to be a curveball. It's like in the middle ground of sweeper curve, kind of. And so they're just calling it a curve, but it's at 84. Doesn't matter. What does matter is that he went against the Dodgers, and it was 1 run in 6 innings. And watching it, I saw that he struck out Ohtani. It was his first batter on a 94-mile-per-hour sinker that started in the outside corner and went off the plate. And Ohtani went lunging at it. And I'm thinking to myself, like, what's going on? Like, I don't ever see strikeouts on sinkers off the plate away and that far off the plate away. And then you see Freddie Freeman literally get a hit on a ball outside, like in the batter's box of a right-hander on the same kind of sinker and a 1-2 count. And I'm thinking, oh my God, this is like a 20-inch, horizontal sinker or something ridiculous. Apparently it's like 15 to 16. And it's just confounding, right? I mean, it could be just the book isn't out on Trevor McDonald. They were thinking these were 4-seamers and they weren't. I don't know. But it was fun. And then you have the curveball going back foot to these lefties. And against right-handers, it's the curveball going down in glove side as you want it to be, down away from him, and then back to his sinkers. And I'm just watching this going like, yeah, this works. Like, this works. It's a sinker curveball against a right-handed lineup that is the Rocky Road inside of Oracle Park. Like, the Giants are just going to let him fly again. He threw 89 pitches against the Dodgers.
Right.
This is, I'm circling this. You seem like you have hesitation, though.
No, because he's a guy I honestly I did not know who he was.
Right.
And I didn't go back and watch that game against the Dodgers, but I was just like looking up the stats and looking up his minor league stats and looking through it. And so, yeah, it's wild to see him in the probably start, but I understand everything that you're saying about it. And I'm maybe would have put him in coming into this. I would have said, like expect him in the questionable start tier because, low track record. And is he really, was like a one-off debut, but I get everything you're saying.
It's Rocky Road.
Yeah.
Like, this is the kind of thing that is absolute chaos down the stretch. And it's not even the fact that, it's not even, that's just that it's Rocky Road. He had this thing against the Dodgers. So many pitchers this weekend are going to disappoint you. Even the ones that you love, the guys that you like. Aaron Nola is going. How long do you think the Phillies are going to let Aaron Nola go?
Right. Yeah.
Right. You have this tandem. It's so interesting. I've been doing this. I've been ranking both Clay Holmes and Sean Manaea because I know that you guys listening are deciding what should I do with this piggyback situation. So I say, you know what? I'm going to just rank them separately. And whoever's going second is the one you want. I don't know which one's going second yet.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So right now I'm
You
going
don't
to think
have
it's
that
going to be
info.
Holmes because Sean and I went first before, right?
Right.
Erie Perez, are they going to continuously just like let him fly? I think so because they just want him to get more innings, but you don't know.
Yeah.
It's so annoying. So here comes Trevor McDonald in 89 pitches. And I'm just like, fire it up. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's go with the number one starter in the questionable start tier. It's Kyle Harrison against the Tigers. Jose Barrios against the Rays. Sean Manaea against the Marlins. Javier Assad against the Cardinals. Sean Burke against the Nationals. Adrian Hauser against the Blue Jays. Caden Dana against the Astros. Kyle Freeland against the Giants. We finally saw it, Nick. Kyle Harrison start for the Red Sox with a cutter, with a sinker, with a new changeup grip. First start looked pretty good in that ballpark that you keep talking about at Steinbrenner Field. And it was a pretty solid start. Lefty against this left-handed heavy Tigers lineup. But I understand, like, you know, in the 9 innings he's thrown with the Red Sox, he's looked pretty strong, but there's a lot of question marks in his consistency and what are you really getting with those secondaries when he's still refining the pitch mix, and, you know, can they actually land with any consistency?
Yeah, I didn't like that start of the weekend in Steinbrenner Field. I just didn't.
But it's Steinbrenner Field, Nick. You just got to throw it out, you know?
No. I throw it out when I have other reason to. I have reason to believe that that they have a much different talent, and that all of a sudden everything looks weird and different. It's like I'm not seeing enough from Harrison for me to feel like, okay, cool, he's going to do this. He's going to do it for a long while. He's going to do it in Fenway. That he's going to, you know, Kyle Harrison has always been this guy of like, he needs to reinvent what our interpretation is of him, right? Like we're hoping, we've been wish casting that he's going to be X in this new thing, and we have yet to really see it. And so I'm not ready to put myself in a situation on Friday that he's going to go 6 innings and do that. When also the Red Sox are like fighting to get all the wins that they can at the moment, and that they won't give him an early hook if things are going a little bit.
Oh, yeah. They for sure will give him an early hook if it doesn't start off well. We need to understand.
And so, I mean, that's part of the way that you get 6 innings, of course.
Yeah.
Is that you're allowed to battle through that. So I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying it's between 25 and 50% as opposed to 51 to 75.
Yeah. And that will honestly depend on how Connolly early does the night before, because bullpen usage and blah, blah, blah. But I get that.
What, you ruin for no good start?
No, I'm rooting for them both to be splendid.
Yeah, there we go.
And then obviously Sean Burke is here because the Nationals are a good matchup. And then Adrian Hauser here, interesting. It's the Blue Jays. Again, the Blue Jays should have likely clinched a bye by then, so who really knows what you're getting. But yeah, Adrian Hauser in deeper formats, I could see it against a not full strength Blue Jays lineup.
Yeah. This is weird though at the end of this, isn't it? Isn't it crazy what I did?
That you put Kyle Freeland up here?
And Caden Dana?
Yeah.
So Caden Dana is very much me telling everybody, look, if you're looking for a quality start in the final 2 days of the year, this might be one of the rare things that you can get. Because Sunday quality start hunting is, oh gosh, who knows? Like, we just want to get this guy in there and get him whatever. And someone's cruising for 56 pitches in the 5th innings and they just get the hook because of that, right? Caden Dana, though, is that kind of guy that they want to give more opportunities for. And he just threw over 80 pitches. He's fully stretched out and everything. His best pitch, I would say, is a slider. And guess what kind of lineup he's going to get, Eric? It's a slider, focused domination against the Astros as you froze for a while there. Oh my gosh.
I was going to say, you said, guess what kind of, and then I just froze. I didn't hear anything you said. I was like, oh, he's going to ask me a question and I'm going to be like, I didn't actually hear.
Yeah. Well, guess what kind of lineup he's going to get? He's going to get a right-handed lineup that's going to be susceptible to his slider. So I'm not saying that Caden Dana is great. I actually don't really think he's that good. However, this might be a situation that you can get 6 innings, and that's going to be hard to find. While Kyle Freeland against the Giants, I mean, like, it's not in Coors. What is it? 3 of his last 4 have come with at least 7 strikeouts.
Yeah.
And it's all because he yelled at Rafael Devers.
Yeah, that's
one of the best onion headlines I've come up with.
He's got to start
right.
yelling at everybody.
Yeah, Kyle Freeland sparks MLB trend of pitchers yelling at Rafael Devers.
Everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
The do not start tier here. Simeon Woods Richardson against the Phillies. Michael Wacha against the Athletics. That's in Sacramento. Chris Paddock against the Red Sox. Matthew Liberatore against the Cubs. AJ Bluebaugh against the Angels. Nabal Chris Matt against the Diamondbacks. Tomiyuki Sugano against the Yankees. Jake Irvin against the White Sox. Mitch Spence against the Royals. Just don't do it.
I love that that's what you do. Simeon Woods Richardson had 2 really good games, and then yesterday wasn't. I could see that being in questionable. You can even say maybe Michael Wacha has it, or Chris Paddock does the thing, or Matthew Liberatore just had a good game. And to me, it's just all very low chance of good volume. Wacha could really hurt you in Sacre Verde. AJ Bluebaugh has been looking good, except that he only threw about 34 pitches, I think, in relief yesterday. So it's just there's no expectation really of that being an extended outing.
Yeah. And Jake Irvin, I know it says the White Sox, but just don't do that.
No. Jake Irvin, like he just had his best game in 3 months because it was the Mets.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sunday, final day. Well, listen, this day is going to be utter chaos. We're talking about Sunday on a Monday. You'll listen to the names in the auto start tier, and I'm willing to wager that 7 of these 10 guys won't start or will make very abbreviated starts based on how their teams are doing. But as of right now, you have to assume they're starting, and you have to assume you're going to pitch them. It's Tarek Skubal against the Red Sox, Jacob deGrom against the Guardians, Chris Sale against the Pirates, Freddie Peralta against the Reds, Nick Pivetta against the Diamondbacks, Emmett Sheehan against the Mariners, Justin Verlander against the Rockies, Cole Reagans against the Athletics, that's in Sacramento, Kevin Gossman against the Rays, that's in Toronto, and Ranger Suarez against the Twins.
Why didn't you say that Verlander was in San Francisco when that's the most important one? That's Rocky Road.
Because we talked about that with Kaiwei Tang, but yes, that was in San Francisco. Yeah,
fine. I would say that Reagans makes the start. Sheehan might actually start the day before because that's Tyler Glasnow.
Sheehan's been so good lately.
And the thing is, though, Sheehan could be like the number 4 for the Dodgers instead of Ohtani. I don't know. It's weird.
Maybe.
I think he goes one of the two, and I think they actually fully start him. So that, I mean, maybe not. Maybe they limit him. Maybe. And then, but Reagans is going to do the full start. Verlander, probably not, because come on. Unless he's like really trying to showcase, no, I'm so old and can do this. Just let me have it.
I'm so old is what he's trying to showcase.
I can do this. But at the very least, like Tarek Skubal's only doing it if the Tigers are literally still not decided of their season.
Right.
DeGrom should not be doing this because he's already gone so far and there's no reason to do this anymore for DeGrom. I can't believe he's been as healthy as he is. Chris Sale has an argument because he wants to get more innings back after, but who knows how long. Freddie Peralta, obviously not. But then again, he's not going to pitch for a week because he's not pitching the ALDS, and maybe they want to actually keep him going.
I think Peralta likely goes to get some innings under his belt.
Right, like 50 pitches or something.
Yeah.
Nick Pivetta, no, because he's going to be going in the NLDS later that week, right? Like he's going to be their game 2 starter, game 1. Like what is this? Is he game 1 over King? I don't know.
Well, it depends. I mean, no, it'd be game 2. Well, unless King was supposed to pitch Saturday, so yeah, he probably wouldn't bounce back. So they might just hold Pivetta out.
I don't know. Emmett Sheehan, we talked about. Verlander, we talked about. Reagans, I think they're just trying to get him those 3 starts to feel really good during exiting the year. I think that's great. I think you're fine with that. Kevin Gossman, why? He's their game 1 guy. He's their game 1 starter.
Right.
So I don't think that's going to happen. Right? Am I taking crazy pills here?
No, you're not taking crazy pills. I think he's the only question is if they have the bye,
which they should.
It's the Freddie Peralta situation.
Right.
He probably
of course.
Innings.
Silly me. And then Ranger Suarez just had a terrible start. So they probably want to ensure that he feels good enough. Probably not deep, but they'll probably start him, but then like not go far. Same with Aaron Nola in the previous day, by the way. So think about that. It's just
it's a little bit of mess. It's
a mess. Good luck. Probably
good luck if you get here, but also good luck if you get here. And if it matters to you, that means you're obviously doing really well. So actually, good luck. The probably starts. Kyle Bradish against the Yankees. Gavin Williams against the Rangers. David Peterson against the Marlins. Jameson Taillon against the Cardinals. Lucas Giolito against the Tigers, Luis Heel against Baltimore, and Mackenzie Gore against the White Sox. We talked about a lot of these guys earlier on in the week. We did not mention Jameson Taillon, who gets the Cardinals. It's a great matchup. We did not mention Mackenzie Gore, who gets the White Sox. That's a great matchup. And then Kyle Bradish against the Yankees. That's not a great matchup, but Kyle Bradish did really well against the Yankees over the weekend. And so why not again?
Yeah, right. I mean, that was really good. They sent a lot of lefties up to him, and he went Blake Snell blueprint, 4-seamers and sinkers up, and then curveballs and sliders down. And we'd only really seen sliders really work before, so it was nice to see that from Bradish. I don't know if that's going to repeat. I don't know. And I think we're going to see Bradish make that start because he hasn't had a lot of volume. I think it's only about 30 innings, if even that. Mackenzie Gore's coming back from injury. They probably want to make sure that he's okay, so you'll see that one. You're probably not going to see Giolito. Or at least an abbreviated one of him. You are likely going to see Taillon because he's only gotten about 123 innings so far. Peterson, the Mets are going to be needing everything they can.
Well, the Red Sox might be too. They're only a game up right now, so
sure.
Giolito start.
Gavin Williams, I don't think we see unless it's like they have to win that game or not, right? That is a situation where Gavin's thrown a lot of innings this year. I don't think he's taking a day off, or I don't think he's missed a start, or maybe he's like very close to it. If the Guardians have any opportunity to not start Gavin Williams there, they will take it. Right? If they're locked into the playoffs, he won't start. If they're removed from the playoffs, he won't start. That's the way I see it with Gavin. So it has to mean something on Sunday for Gavin Williams to start.
Yeah, I agree with you on that for sure. And I kind of think it will mean something just because this is all a little bit of a cluster. And I really do think it's going to come down to that final day. So we'll see. But also,
oh my gosh, Eric, are you watching it with me? Because I'm gonna make that day my a watch party day. I gotta do that. Alex Fast to do it too.
You're going to be mad at my answer, but you know that I can't because professionally speaking.
Oh my gosh, I am mad at your answer.
I have other obligations, so I will be watching
for that other sport.
I will be watching, but I will just be watching on one screen while I have whatever game I've been assigned on the other screen. And so,
I mean, okay, so you can watch with us and be like also.
But I cannot be on stage, but I can watch with you. I can maybe throw some comments in the chat a little bit. But yeah, and also just something to say about Gavin Williams. We know the Guardians in general, but Vogt specifically as a manager has no problem going to the bullpen early if he needs key outs. And so if the Guardians are also in a like, hey, we need this game to make the playoffs, Gavin Williams is going to be pulled at the first sign of trouble if they just need to get in, because they're going to use their bullpen to make sure they can get into the playoffs.
Yeah, that's a very good point too.
Questionable start. Christian Javier against the Angels, Shane Smith against the Nationals, Brady Singer against the Brewers, Zebby Matthews against the Phillies, Bryce Miller against the Dodgers, Brandon Pfaadt against the Padres. The only one in here, I guess, would be Javier has a decent matchup against the Angels, but we've talked about how inconsistent he's been. But he's the one that I'm like, I could see doing it.
I mean, yeah, no, I understand that completely. I'm the same also with Shane Smith against the Nationals. But I think for both, it's just, I don't know what we're going to get.
Yeah.
And it's questionable there. Brady Singer should probably make the start. The Reds are tied for the playoffs today.
Actually, they have the tiebreaker on the Mets, so they are in the playoffs if the season ended right now.
Oh my gosh. So that's pretty dang cool. And I would love that just for Nick Lodolo.
I would argue it's not cool for Mets fans.
I would say just Nick Lodolo deserves it.
Sure.
Because he's been pitching so well. And I think it's cool because Cincinnati has not gone like anything, Eric.
Yeah.
Like nothing. But not since Cueto dropped that ball on the mound. Okay?
It's been a while.
In Pittsburgh. That was insane. You know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
And also, was that the same series where like the catchers what was his name? Oh man. The catcher Buster Posey hit a home run or something. The catcher's head goes straight down. Matt Cain. No, not Matt Cain.
It wasn't Barnhart back then, was it?
Oh gosh, the guy got traded from the Matt Latos. Oh my God, allowed that home run.
Can't we remember that?
You know what made me remember is that he had a cat, and they called him Cat Latos. And that was I couldn't remember the last name. I said Matt Cain. Okay. Yeah, so the Cincinnati should, they need something like that. They just lost that other guy from the other sport too. Okay. So you know what?
From the other
Give
sport.
him something.
That other sport is a mess in Cincinnati. It's also a mess for these last pitchers. It's not sunshine and rainbows for Jeffrey Springs against the Royals, Joe Boyle against the Blue Jays, Michael McGreevy against the Cubs, Edward Cabrera against the Mets, Sam Aldeguerri against the Astros, Mike Burrows against the Braves, McCade Brown against the Giants. I'll just say Mike Burrows has been pitching really well. He's just been limited to like 4 innings, and so
he doesn't go long enough, and it's not that interesting.
No, but he has been delivering results.
Results in what way?
I mean, like
a lower ERA, fine.
Yes, yeah, basically, yeah. And then listen, I know what's going to happen. I get why you ranked him here. Joe Boyle is going to face all of the bench
say
players.
that. I knew you'd say Joe Boyle.
He's going to face the entire Blue Jays bench in Toronto, and some people are going to use him, and he's going to have 10 strikeouts in that game, and he's going to help people win whatever titles they're winning, contending for. But I understand that at this point, at the beginning of the week, you just can't bank on that happening.
No, he's going to walk so many guys. He won't survive 5.
He might. Who knows?
Oh, okay. There's one. I'm going to do this last round because it's what you've done here. There's one problem with a lot of young arms, and it's why I said the shag rug exists. It's not that they have lower strike rates than their veteran counterparts. It's that they lose batters more. They don't make the micro adjustments to then come back into counts.
Yeah.
And Joe Boyle is the perfect example of that. He had over 60% strikes and everything yesterday. And he still walked like 4 guys.
Yeah.
Because of this. So it's, I have no faith in this. That's a day when he had 60% strikes and everything.
Right. No, I agree. I agree with you. I'm just saying it's going to be, we always get craziness to end the season.
That's true.
That's going to be our Sunday craziness. It's going to happen.
Yeah, we don't trust that Eric Cabrera is going to be stretched out enough. No. But then again, it's against the Mets, so he's going to get a superpower. So we'll see.
And the rest, the matchups aren't good enough to consider. No. But we have made it through a season of the list. Wow. The entire regular season. Thanks to everybody who consumes this podcast in any form, whether it's live with us on YouTube, whether it's after the fact on YouTube, whether it's streaming. We appreciate it. We are happy to talk pitching with you guys every week, you people every week. And so we are very happy that you are here with us through the majority of this, through the whole season. We are going to be here through the off season, as Nick pointed out. So don't go anywhere. If you need to take a break from us for a week, by all means, enjoy a break. But yes. We'll be here, and hopefully you'll be here.
Yeah, and if you want to talk to us live, we'll be at First Pitch Arizona debating our top 100 rankings with you guys. So
yeah,
I can't wait for that one. That's always a hilarious moment.
Yeah,
where we're just like pointing at this wall, being like, "You see right here."
I'll see you for breakfast on Friday. I land at 10. I'll just take a car straight there again.
Just absolutely. Just text me, let me know what's going on.
Sounds good.
But yeah, thanks to all of you listening. Of course, thanks to Eric for being such a fantastic host for yet another season with this. It's couldn't do it without you, buddy.
Thanks to you, Nick, for having me. I am Eric Samulski, Pelican.
I'm Nick Pollack, the Lion.
And I'm gonna go grind some game tape on McCade Brown right now.